It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hello, what's happening, everybody? It is showtime. It is the Geno Jones Showtime. I know you say, hey, you don't have to tell us it's the Geno Jones Show. Hey, dude, we can read. We can see behind you, but just in case. All right. So I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out on the West Coast. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones channel. I know if you're watching me live now, you probably already are a subscriber, but maybe not. If you're not, please, you and everybody you know and don't know, everybody that you like, that you love, that you can't stand, strangers, aliens, doesn't matter. Tell them all to please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show right here on my channel. Please like, share, and binge watch every back episode. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, listen, I got a big show. South Carolina State Representative Krystle Matthews is going to join us. She's only got a few minutes of time. As you can imagine, there's a big runoff here in South Carolina tomorrow to select the Democratic candidate to run against Tim Scott to get his ass out of here and to help President Biden make sure that we can pass a federal law protecting a woman's right to choose, a woman's right to terminate a pregnancy, a woman's right to have an abortion, and to determine what to do with her damn body without anybody else trying to tell her what to do, what choice to make. And also, with Black Voters Matter, I have April Richardson, a regular of the Geno Jones family. So we got some dynamic, powerful, brilliant, beautiful black women that's going to bring the fire. So let me shout out some big winners last night at the BET Awards, and the Lifetime Achievement Award went to Sean Diddy Combs. As a matter of fact, that's the only time I've seen a Lifetime tribute that the person who got the Lifetime tribute was on stage performing more than everybody else that was doing a tribute. Usually, you know, when there's a tribute, they have a lot of different artists that will sing the artist's song, and the artist is getting the honor will just usually, you know, you'll see them sitting down. Sometimes they may come and sing one song. Puffy did the whole damn set. I'm not mad. Shout out to Lil' Kim. She did her thing. Shout out to Jodeci. They did their thing. Shout out to Mary. My girl Mary J was looking great. Busta Rhymes, Faith Evans. So Babyface along with Ye, as in Kanye. So, okay, listen. Just Google the video. So Kanye, as a matter of fact, Kanye's speech was longer than Puffy's damn near. I was like, yo, Ye, you know, this ain't your Lifetime Achievement Award. This is Diddy's Lifetime Achievement Award. So Kanye came out, a baseball cap, a ski mask, sunglasses, and like ski gloves. And it was hot because if you've ever been on stage, like stage lights are hot. The stage is probably about well over 100 degrees, and you could hear at times like Ye was struggling to breathe because that ski mask, I know that ski mask and them lights, it was killing his tail, but he made it through. Thank God he made it through, and he eventually finished the speech, and then Puffy gave the longest acceptance speech in the history of it. So it was so long, he even told the BET network that, hey, listen, if you missed the commercials, I'll pay for them. And he also announced he was giving $1 million to his alma mater, Howard University, and he was going to give Coach Deion Sanders, Primetime Sanders, the head football coach for Jackson State University, he was going to give them also $1 million. So, and shout out to Raji P. Henson. I love that sister. She's and another Howard University. You know it. Even though I didn't go to Howard. Shout out to Columbia College, Chicago. But to Raji P. Henson, I absolutely loved Raji. Just her vibe and her spirit. So, pretty good show. If you missed it, don't worry. BET will, between now and the 4th of July, they'll probably like rerun it 100 times. So, if you missed it, don't worry. Just tune in at any time. Day, evening, midnight, 4 in the morning. You are subject to catch the BET Awards, if you missed it yesterday. And shout out to all the big winners. Too many to mention right now. I'll probably mention some more. Jasmine Sullivan, Lotto, whole bunch of folks. Let's see, Bruno Mars. I should say Silk Sonic, Bruno Mars, and Anderson .Paak. So we'll go into that tomorrow. All right, so this is day 4. The Supreme Court's just I don't even have the right adjective. So they finally repealed Roe versus Wade. That's the Supreme Court decision that basically said that a woman had a right to terminate a pregnancy. So now with the repealing of Roe versus Wade, they have thrown it to the states, and they've allowed states to make abortion illegal, which is about to happen here in South Carolina, probably any day now. The governor, as I call him, Governor Foghorn Leghorn, was busy, up in the state capitol, writing up legislation and going through all the paperwork so they could make virtually abortion, just all abortions, illegal. So let me just say this. I don't want to bring them, I guess, because all this ties into voting. I tell you every day that voting matters and elections have consequences, and vote like your life depends on it. And I know you all get tired of hearing me saying this, and you're like, oh, Geno, okay. Now you understand. Well, what's the difference? And they the lesser of two evils, and Joe Biden ain't done nothing. Yeah, but he didn't do nothing to you. He didn't put judges on the court to make this decision that's going to affect not just millions of women, men also, which leads me to my last statement here in my monologue. Fellas, now I am talking to you. You, and you. Don't think that this decision that the Supreme Court made, repealing Roe versus Wade, don't think it just affects women. Because this could come knocking on your door one day. It could be your daughter. It could be your granddaughter. It could be your sister. It could be your spouse. Or it could be that side piece that you got that got pregnant. You got a text message with a picture of a sonogram. And you're like, hey, what is this? What is this picture? Why, what is this? And she's like, show us. It's your son. And you're like, well, hold on, wait a minute. Now, wait, you can't do that. What about my wife? She'd be like, what about your wife? What about your baby? So, fellas, be it for a moral reason or selfish reason, you better understand, because there's a lot of fellas, a lot of men. I'm going to keep it 1,000. There are a lot of men, or a significant number. I don't know the number, but I know it's more than a few. Is watching me right now that has benefited. Your life at that moment was made a lot easier because for whatever reason, there was a woman that decided not to go through with the pregnancy. I'm just keeping it 1,000. So don't stand on the sidelines and act like this is a woman's problem. No, your ass too. It's everybody's problem. And like I said, one day, the situation could come knocking on your door. God forbid, situation, rape, incest. You got daughters going off to college. You could have a niece or a granddaughter that's a victim of rape or incest. I just got to keep it 1,000. Because this could affect you. So men, we got to stand up. Women did not get in this situation by themselves. And it wasn't women, it was one woman. But the rest were men. 5 men that made a decision about the lives of millions of women and felt that somehow that they were so anointed that they knew what's best for women. They know what's better for a woman in terms of what to do with her body more than she does. So I'm going to shut up about it because I got some brilliant women I want to bring on the show. First of all, actually, they're going to come on together. South Carolina State Representative Krystle Matthews. Tomorrow is the runoff. She's in the Democratic runoff to determine the Democratic candidate to run against Tim Scott in the United States Senator. And if we can get a senator like Krystle Matthews in the U.S. Senate and about 3 more like Representative Matthews, soon to be Senator Matthews, then there's a law in the House that will make abortions legal. It will be a federal law that will allow women in all 50 states to terminate a pregnancy or to have the right to determine their reproductive freedom. And returning to the show, April Ricardson, she is with the South Carolina chapter of Black Voters Matter. Ladies, thank you for coming to the show. I apologize. You all know me well enough to know that, I tend to get on one. I had to tone it down because Representative Matthews, you've got an election to win, and April, you just trying to help save the world. So I want to start off. I'm going to play DJ Cassidy, Representative Matthews. Oh, by the way, I voted last week, Friday. Was it Friday? No, Thursday. I voted Thursday. So, and election day is tomorrow. I'm going to play DJ Cassidy and pass you the mic, Rep Matthews. You got the floor.
Oh, I'm sorry. So hello. I'm so glad to be here. As he just said, I'm here to remind you that tomorrow is voting day. As you have just heard Geno talking, elections have consequences. Let us not be distracted from making sure we vote for someone who is going to give us adequate representation at the table and someone who is going to fight for the things that we want. We cannot keep laying down and then complaining, y'all. We've got to do something different to get something different. So I urge you again, come out, vote for name number 2, Krystle Matthews, on your U.S. Senate ballot. Get me elected. Let's take this fight to the Senate. We can do it, South Carolina. We can bring it home together. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So Representative Matthews, tomorrow, polls are open at 7. What are the times exactly?
7 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow.
All right. And if voters have any other questions, is there social media site?
Ms. April Richardson is going to come behind me, I think, with that information because she is so magnetic. But I'm pretty sure she has prepped herself for all of that information. Am I correct?
She's got it. But
absolutely. I got you.
Just in case there was anything else you wanted to add before we let you run, we just wanted to make sure that you had adequate time to say everything that you needed to say.
No. So, yeah, and for those who are wondering about the situation on the internet, let me just say that's the elephant in the room, right? I will be doing an exclusive interview to really give voters more depth on that tomorrow evening. You'll see that with Raphael James. So cool. Thank you so much, Geno. April, keep holding it down for us, and I will see you all soon.
All
I
right.
hope to be your next city when you see me again, or at least the nominee.
Oh, absolutely. We spoken into existence long time ago. So
Yes,
we'll let you run. Senator Matthews, may God continue to bless and have favor on you, your family, and your campaign. Thanks for your time. So, April, we're going to pass the mic to you, my friend. So what do you want? I know I put a lot out there, so you can just take the baton, pick up wherever you want to pick it up.
Sure. So just while we're on the subject of this particular election, yes, tomorrow is the runoff. Keep in mind, not only is that Senate seat up, but check your local Board of Elections. So you can visit scvotes.gov, or you can search, Berkeley County Board of Elections, or fill in your county there to get your county's website. Because there are a lot of runoff races and additional things that are happening depending on the county that you're in. So it's definitely important, depending on your county, your state house districts. There might be some additional races too. So that's definitely tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And again, you can visit scvotes.gov to get more information about that, to make sure that your registration and everything is taken care of, and also to make sure you know where your polling place is.
So if you go ahead. No, finish your thought and then I'll ask.
No, I was about to be like, okay, so where are we, are we hitting that hard topic now?
Well, no, listen, we can cover whatever you want to talk about, but I would like to get your perspective as a woman and as a Black woman. Because decisions like this affect Black and brown women disproportionately in more negative ways, just economically and just from a health standpoint. The Black maternal mortality rate is 3 times that of white women. And I'm going to say it again, the most unprotected, disrespected, neglected person on this planet is a Black woman. So feel free just to share in this moment, and I can imagine in real time, after you heard the decision about what the Supreme Court did, repealing Roe, just feel free to express your feelings, share if there's any personal stories or anecdotes that you like to share, just to try to maybe get people who may not understand to really, and to hear this from a woman's point of view, from a woman's perspective, because especially we as men, even those of us who will always go hard in the paint for women, and especially black women, and anybody that watches the show knows that I do, I will still never experience what it feels like to bring a life in the world or to have that responsibility. So I just would love to get your perspective, and feel free to just to share your feelings, any insight or perspective that you'd like to add.
Sure. So, I mean, it's a lot. There are a lot of thoughts and emotions that kind of run through your head. And I'll say, just for context, talking about, just me personally, I was, born and raised in South Carolina, in a very traditional home. So, I grew up, I got a home, a local church in the area. So I know that for a lot of people, sometimes when we get into conversations like this, they very much go, well, because of this belief system that I hold, automatically, well, I should be, this is great, this is wonderful. But what a lot of people don't think about, whether that's the lens that you're coming from or not, is that this is a multi-layered situation. So on the front end, as a woman, it's this idea now that there is no safety net. And that's not just about, you deciding that you don't want to go through with a pregnancy, as we saw with, cases that have happened in Texas and in other states. It can be as much as simply because you had a miscarriage. Now there needs to be a criminal trial to determine if you in any way, shape, or form intentionally, compromise that pregnancy. So when you talk about, Black women, your health as it relates to pregnancy, their maternal health, or just, the statistics around miscarriages in general. And it's running the idea that there could be laws put in place now that we've made this up to the states that would basically say that I have the right to investigate, that your doctor needs to report, or that someone has the right to report you or to investigate the loss of a child. So imagining being a woman who has lost a pregnancy that she wanted to keep, and then having to contend with suddenly needing to get a lawyer and having court dates in the midst of grief. So for me, it's not just the idea of, body autonomy and my own rights. It's safety. It's health. It's the idea that now so many aspects of your life are compromised. Something else to keep in mind, and why I say this is multifaceted, is because which I know everybody doesn't have time to do, but when the Supreme Court puts out decisions like this, there are always statements. Those that they write out explanations for why they support. And then there are also justices that dissent or vote against, will also write their opinions as to why they dissented. So Justice Thomas, who was one that was, for this, throwing out Roe versus Wade, in his statement, also mentioned the fact he threw in some other laws that he thought were also questionable or that should be looked at next. And one of them was contraceptive. So again, your belief systems might be different, but for most people, when we talk about things like birth control, it's not even always about stopping a pregnancy. Sometimes it's just to help manage a menstrual cycle. So we're again talking about the way that women care for themselves. Men may not all realize, not all women often realize that the experiences that women have during that period are very different. Some people go through horrendous experiences. I mean, literally sick as a dog, can't get up, debilitating pain. And contraceptives can help alleviate that. That's been, a personal experience. So the idea that now that's not an option, what that also means is that even if you're just if you're preventing on the front end, this isn't even a situation of, well, you made a choice or a mistake. No, I am choosing to take these responsible steps because now is not the time, or for health reasons, I might not be healthy enough to carry a child to term. And I don't want to go through an invasive surgery. So I'm just going to, deal with contraceptives, and potentially that also being something that's on the chopping block next. And what that looks like and what that means. Because now what you're saying is I don't have the right to make that choice, not only about whether or not to allow a pregnancy to go full term, but I also don't have the choice to decide if I'm going to get pregnant or not, unless I'm just going for full-on abstinence. So those are things that we also have to consider. This sets a precedent that you can have a law that's been in place for 40, 50, 60 years, and then decide, you know what, no, that wasn't the right decision. And so we're just going to turn that whole thing on its head. And that's where voting becomes important, because as we're seeing so much federal precedent being dismantled, they're not saying it's outlawed, but they're saying that your state is going to determine what you can and cannot do. So if you live in a state like South Carolina, and as you mentioned earlier, where we know, our legislatures are both legislatures, I think both houses are meeting tomorrow. And I would advise anyone who's interested in getting involved to visit the Women's Rights and Empowerment Network website. So that's RIN.org. The South Carolina chapter, and to get more information about what they're doing. Because yes, right now abortions are still available in South Carolina, but they may not be very soon. But that's based on who we have sitting as governor, which that is a race that's coming up in November. That is also going to, our representatives, who we're sending not only at the federal level, but also state. Those are the bodies that are going to be making these kind of decisions.
Yes.
And so we can, to your point earlier, I get people's frustration with the way that the voting works in this process. Even with this last minute change, now that we have early voting instead of in-person absentee, and that last minute change in the, kind of distraction and disruption that can cause, I get why people get frustrated. We're not always seeing the results that we want, but when we decide to just disengage because the system is rigged, what we're allowing for is for them to move forward with these kinds of moves unopposed. I'm not promising you that we're going to win every battle or everything is going to magically be different. But our only opportunity to make that change is to put up a fight, and voting is one way that you can definitely do that.
April, let me just piggyback and jump in real quick on that last point about people getting frustrated. Now, you can do two things. You can get frustrated and say, well, what have we gotten? And the Democrats have promised. And listen, I'm not on nobody's payroll, okay? But really, you have one party that believes in democracy. I'm just giving it to you straight. And then you have another party, which is not even, it's not, when you hear people talk about the Republican Party no longer exists. The Republican Party is a MAGA cult. I said it. I meant it, and I'm saying it again because it is true. The Republican Party, as you may have known it, the H.W. Bush, or even the George W. Bush Republican Party, even the John McCain version of the Republican Party no longer exists because this MAGA cult literally took over what was the Republican Party. So there's a lesson to be learned from that, and I talked about it. So you had people with this mindset for years. Roe versus Wade that decision came down the Supreme Court in 1973. 50 years of not getting any result. Did they stop voting? No. They kept voting and they kept voting and they kept voting and they kept voting and trying to get more and more like-minded people in local state houses, state representatives, state senators, like April said, governors' mansions. Then they became United States congressmen and women and U.S. senators and eventually presidents. And then you got what you got with Orange Hitler in 2016, Republican president, quote unquote, under the banner of the Republican Party. So you got a MAGA cult leader and you got MAGA cult followers in the U.S. House of Representatives and in the U.S. Senate. And you also, now you got MAGA Supreme Court judges, and your boy appointed 3. He selected 3, and his MAGA cult followers in the Congress, in the Senate, approved them, voted for them to sit on the bench. So here's the lesson. You can complain and well, they ain't done enough fast enough, and you can not vote, and you can give more power to the people who don't have your best interest at hand. I just need to do something real quick. Or you can learn something from that MAGA cult. If you're not getting what you want, then you need to show up in larger numbers. And I'm gonna say it again. Take over the party. We took over the NBA, we took over the NFL, and you can change You can change what's known as the Democratic Party. The name is insignificant. It is the actions, it is the laws that are passed, it is the judges that are placed on the Supreme Court. Like I said, Friday, I spoke to all you white suburban women that voted for Orange Hitler, 54% of you. Now they've come for you. Now you know how black women feel. They've come for listen, this country has come for black women and black people for 403 years. So now you know how black women and black people feel, but they're not done. White men, not only are they coming for you, they came for you. They came for Mike Pence. He's an old white dude with power, but he didn't subscribe and he didn't follow that cult mentality, and they literally came to hang Mike Pence, and they chanted it live on live television and live streamed it and built a hangman's noose and gallows on the U.S. Capitol. So they came for Roe versus Wade. Uncle Clarence Thomas has already said, well, like April said, well, now we need to look at, let's look at gay marriage and let's look at gay relationships. All right? They're not stopping there. This is all about, it's bigger than abortion. It's about basically trying to take this country back to like the 1850s and take away all your rights. You take away women's rights. Then you take away the rights of gays and lesbians and the trans community. And they won't stop there. They'll come after your voting rights, civil rights. Pretty soon it'll be, well, you know what? Why shouldn't a school be allowed to have a whites-only school? Brown versus the Board of Education. They're coming after this whole thing about privacy, basically, which is the Fourth Amendment, your right to privacy. Uncle Clarence Thomas said, "The hell with your right to privacy." No, we need to look at all these things. Oh, they come from interracial marriage too, by the way. But it's funny Clarence Thomas didn't mention that because he's in an interracial marriage. So he talked about, he talked about coming for everything else. He talked about coming for the gays and lesbians, and there was something else he talked about looking at, April. I can't remember what it was.
It was contraceptives.
Yes,
and then another,
contraceptions. Yeah. That's what it was. Right. So they so they don't want you. Y'all got to understand, this is chess, not checkers. So if you got any closing thoughts, but I just wanted to piggyback on what you were saying, April, because it tied right into it. If you're really angry, this is what I want, not just the women, but the fellas to do. This weekend, April, Friday night, Nicki Minaj is going to be at the Essence Festival. Thursday night, Kevin Hart's going to be at the Essence Festival. Saturday night, Janet Jackson is going to be at the Essence Festival. Sunday night, New Edition and the Isley Brothers are going to be, they're going to have like 80,000 people every night. That's like 250,000 people. I'm going to need you all to show up with that same energy to vote like you're showing up to go to the Essence Festival. That's what I'm going to need y'all to do. Because I love the Essence Festival. I'm trying to get down there. I love Janet, everybody on there, New Edition, the Isley Brothers, Nicki Minaj, all of them. But I love my rights and my freedom and the rights and the freedom for my daughters and my nieces and my mother and women, associates who are guests on the show, like April and Krystle, and the rights of all of us, regardless of your gender, ethnicity, all of it. So, April, any final thoughts? I'll let you take us home and wrap it up.
Sure, I'll keep it simple. So first of all, please, if you are registered to vote, make a point, and you have not already, to vote tomorrow in these runoffs. And if you aren't registered, get registered, because November is monumental. We've got to show up and show in force, like you said, if we want to put people in place that we can actually hold accountable. Now, you can hold anybody accountable, whether you voted for them or not, but there's an edge to it when we are your base, when we're the ones that put you there, and that's really important. And then just kind of to tie this whole concept together is I really want people to start recognizing that, like you said, this is a long game. This isn't something that happened overnight. This has been strategic. And, you've got to look at the fact that we are going to have to be strategic. However you want to, get to where you were trying to get, we have to be strategic about it. We have to start organizing at the local level, because you're right, this isn't the end of it. They are, dismantling the way that our education system is set up. There are cases in Maine right now where they're basically forcing that state to give funding to religious private schools. So we're slowly shifting the precedents around, the separation of church and state, which again is going to slowly start divesting from our public school system, which is just an example. There are a lot of things that are happening at once. And the only way that we're really going to make headway, we got to play catch up, but we've also got to start being invested. So attend your local school board meetings and make sure that you're going to city and county council meetings. Start asking questions. Whoever's representing you right now, start making some phone calls, asking some questions. We've got to get this information back into our community so that we make sure that we're protected as best as we can be. But please don't be mistaken. This isn't something that's just going to affect a microcosm of people, as it's been said. There's a lot more coming down the pipeline, and this isn't to terrify anyone, but it's to emphasize that it is important that we get out here and vote. Last thing, if you haven't been paying attention to the January 6th committee hearings, one of the most recent ones, there was a Black woman and her mother that were targeted specifically by former President Trump as just simply the election workers. They did absolutely nothing wrong, but had people at their homes harassing them, had to move, had to quit their jobs. They're replacing our election officials as well. So this idea of, the vote is a struggle, but there is a reason that they are setting it up so that we don't have access to the ballot. It's intentional, and it's so that all of these different things that they've got going on, they can do unopposed. So it is mission critical that we inform ourselves and that we get out to these polls, and also that we are organizing.
Speaking of Election Day, if anyone's having any problems, if anyone has any questions, if they need any guidance, if there's any incidents of harassment, hey, get your phone, record it. Anybody comes up to you, says anything, acts crazy, acts like they're going to try to do anything to you, make sure you get it on video, and you can contact April. You've got contact information, phone number, social media websites, yes, where people can go and get help, or if they ever want to report any incidents of harassments or anything else, intimidation.
Absolutely. So 866 our vote is the number that you want to call if anything like that occurs on Election Day. You actually get connected to a legal professional who's going to take that information or pass it on. And there's actual war rooms work. And I actually worked with a legal defense fund here in South Carolina that was doing that work during the primary. They'll do it happens during the runoff. It's going to happen during the regular election. That's 866 our vote. And if you're looking for more information again about this work with body autonomy, please visit the Women Rights Empowerment Network's website.
And going November 8th, by the way, after tomorrow, I'm going to have April come on. She is a regular on the show. I got to talk about election workers. We need more election workers. And April is going to come back and tell you exactly what you need to do. Absolutely. But basically you can contact the Board of Elections in your county. But April she'll have more time and she can tell you exactly why this is so important. But it should be obvious, but if not, as always, April will do a great job on explaining to you why it's so. This year is got to be more important than ever before. April Richardson, Black Voters Matter, blackvotersmatter.org.
So blackvotersmatterfund.org. Just look up South Carolina.
And they can leave you a message there at the website. Do you have any social media handles on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook?
So we're Voters Matter everywhere. Just MTTR instead of spell it out, but you can find us on any social media platform, including TikTok.
April Richardson, thank you. You've done a great job. And you and Representative Masters, you and Krystle keep me, because normally Friday I had like the double flamethrower, so I tried to, I tried to only do 80 in a 65. I was doing about 150 in a 65. So today I said, let me keep it around 80, 85. Thank you for your contribution again, April. There you go. All right, just lost her live shot. Thank you, April Richardson, and thank you to Representative Krystle Matthews, and thank you for watching. God bless each and every one of you. God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones channel. here on YouTube, I should say. Subscribe to my channel and my show. Share, like, and binge watch this and every episode. Subscribe, share, like, and binge watch. Got that? Shout out to Allie Jones. She is the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. She is on Instagram. It's Lexi with 2 X's, LEXXIE.Nicole _ at line below designs. Lexi with 2 X's .Nicole _ designs. And shout out to Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check him out on Instagram. Kel B Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP. Shout out, hello mother, how are you there? There's my number one fan. Thank you, mother, for watching. And everybody else that was watching me live. See, a lot of folks are watching today. Thank you. Even if you didn't jump in the chat room and leave me a comment, feel free. If you have any comments or questions, got something you want to get off your chest, that's what it's for. Even if we don't have to agree, that's okay. Feel free. I give you permission. If you can come for me, you can come for me there. But keep in mind, if you come for me, I'm gonna answer the door, and I'm gonna come back at you. So, just you have been forewarned. The next live edition of the Geno Jones is going to be Election Day Tuesday. This Tuesday, Election Day, we've got the primary runoff for the Democratic nominee for the United States Senate to run against Senator Tim Scott. So, Representative Krystle Matthews, who has my full support and endorsement, unpaid endorsement. All right, so understand, it wasn't about any money. I didn't want any money from her. She didn't offer. I wouldn't have accepted it if she did, because I believe in this sister. I believe in women. I definitely believe in black women. Once again, the most unprotected, disrespected, and neglected person on the planet is a black woman. And we as black men, we got to stand with and beside, and when we need to, in front, and when it's time for them to lead, fall back and let them lead. That's how we do that. Because there's a time to lead, there's a time to listen, there's a time to fall back and follow. All right. Even Michael Jordan didn't always take the game-winning shot. Sometimes he passed the ball to Steve Kerr when he was double-teamed. All right, think about that. Until Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Once again, thank you for watching, everybody, and please be blessed. Pray for peace. Thanks for watching.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.